Does everybody, okay, how do people feel about meal equals meal plus meal times tax? General feelings about that statement. Good, I see some good. Anybody? Yeah. You don't even have to put semicolons at the end of lines. It basically it's called duck typing. If it looks like whatever it is, then it just assumes. So.
What is it assumed?
I mean, I think the only time it generally does that is if you like assign something that you want to be like a float that's supposed to be an integer. But that's, yeah. Anyway, you can always reassign. Yes, chapter 2 in the continuing chapters of Python programming. So everybody have the nice little. Okay. Has everybody got that way to go? Okay. So now we're going to calculate the actual total. So we're going to make a new variable called total and add the tip to that based on the current meal value, which we've set meal to a new value based on itself, which is okay. It's a little weird, but it's a thing that you can do. So meal currently equals the meal with tax. Okay. So how would you go about putting the tip on top of that?
Meal plus meal times tip.
And you're going to set that equal to total. So now we have, Code Academy has put in a print statement which outputs, like will actually show you what the output is. And that is equal to 5463, which is what you would then write down on your little receipt to charge your debit card or something. Or you could count out your 5463. Anyway, you've now calculated that. So why wouldn't you just write it out like algebra? Why would you involve a computer at all? Anybody have any venture a guess why you would want to involve a computer?
To be able to do more complex things and just figure out tip.
That is one reason. But another reason has to do with the actual variable assignment. It's pretty important in programming generally, because now we don't just have a solution for this meal, because we've assigned variables, and now we have this little handy script thing. We can just change what the variables are. Let's say I went to a less expensive restaurant, and it was only $23.97. It was on sale somehow. So now that meal total is going to have the same tax and tip applied to it. So when I save and submit code, it's going to tell me I'm wrong, which is true for the exercise, but that is still what you would pay in that situation. So, but let's say they had really good service. I've also set tip to a variable, so I can set that to 20%. And then I can find out how much I would pay them if they were really awesome. So variables are what allow you to do the same process, no matter how complicated it is, to a bunch of different stuff. So you're not just solving the problem once. You're kind of the goal is to solve a problem and then have it stay solved. So it's pretty excellent that you're able to do that. Now we're going to move on a little bit, and I'm going to send you off, throw you further into the deep end, into strings and console output. And that's using different kinds of variables and doing different kinds of things with them. And I'll just sort of be floating around and seeing what you all think. There's a lot of you. And we're all librarians, so we're fine. So we're going back to the tracks site. I'm going to the next exercise, which is strings and console output. So go ahead and get started with that. I'll float around. I want to distract everyone briefly, because I'm noticing that a lot of people have gotten here, and I think that this is a really important part of what we're going through today, which is the fact that strings and other kinds of variables in Python have these indexes. And this is kind of important. I mean, it's a really helpful thing to know. That each letter in a string and items in other kinds of variables are accessed with numbers that are indexed starting from 0. So this allows you to do a lot of cool things from it. So kind of get used to counting from 0 and get used to the idea that maybe like the content doesn't really matter. Like the fact that that says Python in its language. That's just, the computer doesn't know that. It just knows that there's this value at this index a whole bunch of times. So just get pretty comfortable with that. And if you are feeling pretty okay with that, then good for you. You're on your way. So carry on. There's in this strings and console output, there are a bunch of different modules, so just keep going. There's a bunch of them. 16, actually. We've got methods and printing to the console and advanced printing and a whole big review. So there's a lot to go through, so don't worry if it doesn't entirely make sense.